Right, Disney's Snow White. It's absolutely bombed. The box office is in. And I will say this, it's effectively poetry in motion. Snow White, the movie that made Disney, right? The original. It made Disney. They bet everything on that movie. They bet everything on it. And it made Disney. It built them into what you see today, obviously, spiraling other bits and pieces here and there. But it was the linchpin behind it all. And then this. Maybe this movie, this new movie, will be what Disney needs to finally wake up and realise that they have to change course. One, they bet everything on. Huge success. The other, they just went along with the nonsense that's perpetuated in modern day movies. And not a huge success. At the very least, they're going to lose $100 million for this. At the very least. Bad times for Disney. Let's take a look. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Turn the bell notifications on. So as you see this, look, Snow White Bashful with $87.3 million globally. That is really bad. Yeah, that's terrible. So Disney's live action take on Snow White has come in with a global launch of $87.3 million from 51 material international box office markets. So the update of the classic 1937 animated grossed an estimated $44.3 million domestic. God damn, that's bad. That's awful. It's about where they were projecting it though. 45 to 55 million they were hedging their bets on. So it's about there. So both domestic and overseas returns are below pre-weekend projections. There was one where it said 45 million, so I don't know. But that's awful. So in like-for-like offshore markets at today's rates and excluding China, the bow is 16% below Cinderella, 19% under Dumbo, and 33% off The Little Mermaid. Wow, it's not good. So the Rachel Zegler Star opened as the number one non-local title in the majority of major overseas markets, as well as all smaller ones. Across Europe, Snow White's debut was just 6% below Cinderella in like-for-like markets at current rates. Throughout Latin America, it was number one in every market. I cannot wait for Disney to be like, Snow White, number one movie worldwide, or whatever they're going to say. God, dreadful. Dreadful. How are they going to spin this? That's how they're going to spin it. They're going to spin it in that way, that they're going to be like, oh yeah, it's huge success, it's number one. Oh, God, you can see it now, can't you? So it says this: there's runway ahead for the movie to play into holidays. They genuinely think this is going to do well. They reckon that there's a way that this could turn it around with word of mouth. No, word of mouth is going to be bad. Now they say this, the opening begs the question, what's up, Doc? The 50+ million hoped for overseas ahead of the launch didn't materialise, in part because audiences didn't feel a sense of urgency. Note that it's unlikely any of the so-called controversies surrounding the film played a role. So, yes and no. Yes and no. Don't underestimate the fact that people really are sick of seeing race swaps. They are sick of seeing race swaps. She isn't white. She shouldn't have been cast. Don't underestimate the fact that people are really sick to death of Rachel Zegler's insufferable language that she spewed in multiple interviews. So I think that controversy would have had an effect. I think her very casting is a controversy that would have had an effect. But there is no sense of urgency. No, you are right, Deadline. There is no sense of urgency, because who the hell cares about seeing a remake of a movie nearly 100 years old? No one cares. Why would they go see it? Because it's not even the same story. It's a pale imitation, a weird dysgenic facsimile. Some Googling there for you if you don't know what those words mean. It says this: Asia was challenging. Although Snow White opened at number 1 non-local pretty much across the board in the region, it was number 2 non-local title in China, Korea and Japan. China and Korea were not anticipated to put up big numbers, but Japan is typically more bullish on this kind of fare. They don't like race swaps either, actually. Funnily enough. So, yeah, opened 5.1 million in the UK, Mexico 4.1 million, Italy 4 million, France 3 million, Spain 2.6. Mad. It's just mad. This is mental. Absolutely mental. Now, I thought this article was interesting because they're trying to say, well, is it political then? Heading into the, did it red and blue states? What's going on? Heading into the weekend, Disney Snow White was being nicknamed Snow Woke in vitriol online circles. Don't you mean vitriolic online circles? In vitriol online circles doesn't actually make sense. That's a really bad sentence. Anthony! Which begged the question how this princess movie would fare at the box office in a Trumpian-era country that's divided by blue and red states. The Rachel Zegler Gal Gadot live-action take did blah, 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 who cares, whatever. And this is also wrong. 270 million, it's more than that, by the way. So, yeah, whatever. Anyway, so Snow White per box office Analytics Corp Intelligence minted 60% of her ticket sales and drew 56.5% of her total attendance in theatres that reside in blue counties. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Now, these figures come with an asterisk. It stands to reason that Snow White's business would be driven in blue counties simply because the majority of theatres in the US reside in such zones at 53%, as determined by the 2024 presidential election, and generate 66.78% of overall movie ticket sales and 63.58% of cinema attendance. Consider that liberal-leaning areas like LA, New York City and Chicago are top-grossing box office markets. Well, yeah, it's not done very well for you now, though, is it? So, basically 63% from Democrats, 37% from Republicans, effectively. States, anyway. So that's interesting. 60% blue, 40 red. Interesting. Very, very interesting. It says this. That means that Snow White, with 40% ticket sales and 43.5% admissions from red county-based cinemas, over-indexed in such locations. Further supporting this, Snow White overperformed in Latino and Hispanic markets like Dallas, San Antonio, and Phoenix. Yeah, maybe. It's a crap film though, and it's dead now. So there you go. This isn't going to get any better, like, because the word of mouth isn't going to be very good. So, yeah, pretty bad. Pretty bad overall. You know, if we scroll all the way down through here, Snow White, number 1 at the box office with 43 million. Black Bag, 14.88. Dreadful. Truly dreadful. These numbers are really bad. So, there you go. Not actually much else to say here. It's bombed. It will continue to bomb. The word of mouth isn't going to be very good. And, yeah, you will now see, I guess, a lot of people running cover for it. Why did it do this? Why did it do that? Well, it's a mystery why. Leave your thoughts down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.